What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me once again. If you didn't see by the title or the thumbnail, today we are talking about the Tier 1 Concealed MSP holster. Let's get into it. So first off, we are clear. Don't have to worry about that. So if you're not familiar with Tier 1 Concealed, they are probably like the holster, I guess. I don't know if it's just all their marketing. I know there's people on Reddit that will say otherwise, that there's other companies that are a lot better than them and they hate Tier 1, but I have had nothing but good experience with Tier 1 myself. So let's just go over a quick review of this holster. So if you are not familiar with the MSP, let's get rid of the magazine also. If you are not familiar with the MSP holster, this is, I believe, Modern Samurai project, which would make sense, MSP. This is the MSP holster, and the retention on this is on the light itself and not on the gun. So anything, my version happens to be for the TLR1 from Streamlight. I don't want to say any gun, but just about any gun with the light on it should fit in this holster. Has pretty good retention on it. You can get it for the Surefire X300, I think the mod light or whatever, the really massive one. So far, no complaints with this. So right off the bat with this holster, this one is custom Kydex. I think it was Relv, R-E-L-V, Moab. That is this finish right here. So a couple things about this holster that makes it, I guess, a little more universal. The magazine holster, little sidecar over here, is actually held together with some paracord. So you would have to undo this or loosen it. I think it may have had one of these clips on it at some point, and then I lost it at some point. But I have it tied off here. So depending on what magazine you want to run for which gun, double stack 1911, 2011 magazines are a little bit wider than your regular magazines. So they'll be a little bit stiffer in here than if you had your regular magazines on your carry gun. This is not my carry gun. So it's just something to keep note. So that is some of the things that help adapt this to being more universal, that you have a better adjustment here. I'm sure if there was just some screws with the little rubber guy in the middle, it probably would work pretty good also, but you would run out of adjustment when you get out of your thread. So using the bungee cord, paracord stuff, you have infinite adjustability. Then one thing with this, I don't notice it too much myself, but since this is universal, it will be a little bulkier than if you get a holster specific for a gun. So they have a bunch of different ones. Axis Elite, I think Xiphos is like the single guy. I forget which one they call. I think the Aegis has like a snap thing in the middle and it kind of connects. They have different ones for different applications. The MSP Pro, you could take off the sidecar and then still run just the holster itself if you want with the two clips. I believe that, if I remember correctly, the Axis Elite had the other clip on the sidecar, but I kind of like this. One or two complaints that I have heard from people about Tier 1 is they're expensive. Yes, they're a little expensive. I don't remember how much I paid for this, but it was pretty expensive for a piece of plastic, basically just molded for a gun. The other thing I saw people complain about the thickness of the Kydex that they use, that it's too flimsy. I haven't had any issues at all with this. I've been carrying this holster for well over a year at this point, and I can't say I needed stiffer Kydex ever, but some people comparing it to other holsters that do have that thicker Kydex, that's something you're gonna notice. I myself have not noticed or cared about that because I have had no issues with it. So when I started carrying, I decided I was just gonna go with Tier 1. I went with the Axis Elite, then I went with another Axis Elite, and eventually I just got this, just so I would have the cross compatibility of different guns, or the universal ability of the holster for different guns, which for me, it's somewhat kind of pointless now that I'm thinking about it after the fact, because I mainly just carry M&P 2.0. I don't really switch too much, but it is fun having something like this where I could run from concealment at the range if I would just want to play around and I don't want to take my competition belt with me. I kind of just throw the light on whatever the hell I want, and then I can shoot whatever the hell I want. Going over one thing with my staccato in this holster that could be an issue, which is pretty adjustable, pretty easy to modify this holster to do it. If you look at where the mag release button is, it has a little piece of Kydex, so technically could probably lose a magazine that way. Let's see. Not gonna press the button. I'm gonna press the Kydex. Yeah, see, lost the magazine. So that is an issue, but the only thing you would really have to do is just take a Dremel or something and take that little piece of Kydex out right there. No big deal. Let me get a different gun and show you a different issue that could be, it's not an issue for me, but for some people. Now this is actually my carry gun. I might have to get some B-roll for this to show you it a little bit better, but trigger guard is not the greatest protected out of holsters, which is weird because technically retention is on the light itself, so trigger, I mean, I guess it's gonna be in the same-ish spot in most places, but you're kind of right at the trigger guard most of the time mounting your light to it, so it should be pretty close, but for geometry reasons, it's not. I will show you some B-roll a little bit better, but once again, some people would find this unacceptable. I myself, I can't actually get my finger in there to the trigger, so there's no chance of me accidentally setting it off, which, why would you be fiddling with your gun in your holster while it's in your pants while you can't really see what you're doing? You would probably need something like a key or something really thin like a pencil to get in there to actually to actually pull the trigger. So it's not an issue for me, but I know some people will find that to be a big issue. Now we're just gonna shoot a little bit with a couple different guns, I guess, just because we're at the range, I might as well shoot a little bit. So do the light back on my staccato. Liking this. Yes. So, concealment wise, I don't know if you can see from there. It's, I mean, the bigger magazine isn't helping, but it's not too bad. Also, we're gonna do a little review on the belts in a different video. Do have the Hunter Constantine concealed belt on now. I do have the Core Essentials belt is what I used to carry, with, but we're gonna just change things up. Not trying to go fast here because I don't shoot a 2011 from concealment very often. I've got to remember to articulate your safeties and stuff like that. Bigger beaver tail. All right, let's do a P320 and not lowerable. Simple enough as changing the light, and then we're on. So good stuff. Let's throw a timer in the mix here. $153. $142. I didn't see anything there. I just shot. I need to get faster on the draw, obviously. $153. Let's prep the garment. $138. So that is kind of the Tier 1 MSP holster, at least from inside the waistband. And then this is their new-ish outside the waistband. I know most of this was about inside the waistband because concealed carry, but this is the outside the waistband. This is the MSP for that. Same finish. I do have a Safariland QLD fork, or whatever the hell it's called on it. With this one, same thing, but I feel like it sits up a lot higher. There is a lot more material underneath here, but at the same time, they probably do this so if you have a larger gun. Let's see. Trying to look without aiming it in my face. This is about up to the S over here. Well, this specific gun, this is a 4-inch M&P 2.0. That's how much material I have after that. But at the same time, this would be on your hip. You don't have to worry about concealing this, but just something to note. Overall, I love the holster. Let me know what you think of the holster. The new one they did with .1 Tactics has this mesh, I don't even know what the hell they call it over here. And then your sidecar is infinitely adjustable on that. So you can have it canted all the way this way, up, really low, pretty vertical. That's up to you. That's user customizable on that one, which is kind of cool. I don't want to say I've been considering getting one because I have no issues with this, but like I was saying earlier, I mainly just carry this gun, so this universal holster is somewhat pointless for someone like me, but it is cool to go to the range and be able to shoot your other guns like we did before. All right, so we are going to end it there. I'm going to shut up now. I don't know if this video was informative at all or you learned anything. Probably not, but if you stuck around this long, thank you. And feel free to share and subscribe and all that stuff. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Stay strapped or get clapped.